see where you're at. But once,
Sorry, I wanted to record it.
okay. Okay. So once you call me and then we have a quick consultation, the first step would be pre-approval. So I will be on the phone with you, gathering some preliminary information, like I would need a copy of your pay stub, your W-2s, your bank statements, and if you have any student loans, your student loan letter, things of that nature. What we'll do is we'll get you pre-approved to let you know your purchase price and your monthly payments. And that way you would know exactly what home you will be able to target.
Yes. So after Angela gives you your pre-approval amount, that basically tells me as your realtor, your budget that we should be shopping for. So we don't want to start looking at $800,000 homes if you're only approved for 600,000 or 500,000. That would just be a waste of your time and mine. Unfortunately, as beautiful as those homes are, not your first home does not have to be the dream home, especially we want to be shopping for something that you can afford. And then next, after shopping and we find the home that satisfies all your needs, we will submit an offer or offers. You can submit multiple offers at one time. And so when an offer is, it just basically, it sets a timeline for the whole escrow process. So it'll say the purchase price, how much your earnest money deposit, which is your EMD in the next box. And it sets the contingency timelines. Contingencies are things that we have to satisfy, like the inspections, the appraisal, and the loan contingencies. Those are really important. That's basically saying that we're doing things within these timelines, and removing them on time is very, very important. Your EMD is usually due within 3 days of making the offer, or not making the offer, after it's accepted, sorry. So once it's accepted, you have 3 days to wire that EMD deposit, and that is usually 1% of the purchase price. And that is also included in your down payment. So it wouldn't be 1% plus your down payment. It's just a total of 3% or however much you're putting down.
So after you're in contract, you're in contract, you've already put your earnest money deposit down. So now this is when Mariah will call me and say, hey, Angela, we're in contract. And you will also be calling me to let me know I'm in contract, and we'll be super excited. At that point, that's when we'll submit your application. So that's when I will contact you and you will contact me, and I will say, okay, do you have any current pay stubs? Send me your most recent pay stubs. Send me your most recent bank statement. At that point, if you have a gift fund letter, we would need to start getting a copy of your gift fund letter, verifying those sources, and making sure we're getting a complete package together so that we can do your submission for your loan.
Yes. And so next is the appraisal and inspections. So in our contract, we may have said, okay, we'll do the appraisal and the inspections within 10 days after the offer is accepted. So that means if you want to get a home and a pest inspection, those will have to be done in that window. And these are your only out-of-pocket cost during the home buying process. So a home inspection could be around $300 to $500. A pest inspection is $125 to $200, and then appraisal is between $500 and $700. And I also wanted to mention, if you guys have any questions during this webinar, please submit them in the chat. We will be answering them at the end.
So running parallel to the appraisal and inspections, everything will be happening at one time. Mariah, you guys will be doing your inspections, and at the same time, you'll be in communication with me. At this point, the underwriters will be contacting your employers to verify that you are still working. They'll verify your income. They will be doing a lot of verification. They'll be pulling your credit yet again to make sure you hadn't done any purchases. So there will be a lot of verifications that will be undertaken at this particular time. Then also, your file, while they're doing your verification, your file would then be submitted to the underwriters. So we have your full loan application and your whole package will already be together. We'll submit it to the underwriters. Once the underwriters get it, they too will do their verification. They'll do their homework. And at this point, it's a very critical point, because they will be in a position where they can say this file is approved and or this file is denied. And if it's approved, normally they will approve it with conditions. So at that point, we will be in touch. They will send you a commitment letter, and we'll be in touch to find out what those conditions are, and we'll make sure that we will meet and remove all conditions. Then we have, go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry.
And then at that point, so Mariah mentioned one of the contingencies was the inspection contingencies and the appraisal contingency. So we will be receiving that appraisal report. Once the appraisal is done, we'll be receiving the appraisal report and making sure that the home was appraised to value. If it's not appraised to value, you will be contacting Mariah, and you guys will be back out there renegotiating with the seller to see if they can lower the purchase price to get the home to appraise for value. Once we receive that appraisal report, then that will actually be a condition. We can remove that condition that the appraisal report has been received. We remove that. I'm moving on to the orange box under commitment. At that point, if there's any other remaining conditions, that's where you guys will be submitting it to me. It can be a little condition. They probably want to say, hey, if there's anything on your credit, they may say, hey, what is this? We need you to pay off this Macy's card before closing, or we need to see that it was paid if you had already paid it off. They will need to see that anything lingering, they will want it. And then once they receive everything, they will remove that condition. After that, we will also order a title report. We will order our homeowner's insurance policy, because they're not going to give you a loan. They're not going to let you purchase a home if you don't have insurance on it. So they want to make sure that their investment in you in that particular home is secure. And so they're going to make sure that you work with us to make sure that there's insurance in place. So the insurance on the home will be yet another condition. So we'll make sure that you meet that condition, and we'll remove that condition as well. Once all of those conditions are removed, now we're right here at clear to close. All the condition items have been fulfilled. And then what will happen is we will start setting up dates for you to sign documents. And then we'll have a closing disclosure that we'll send to you for you to sign. Any documents that you will be signing is documents that you would have received already. We'll be working closely together. We'll just kind of be in a relationship where we'll be dating each other until the end of this process. So all documents, we'll be going over them thoroughly, so you will know exactly what is in front of you. So by the time you meet with someone to sign them, you will know exactly what you're signing.
Yep. And then, so not really last, final walkthrough. It's super important that we do this at the end. Usually we have to do this 5 days before closing. It's important because we want to make sure that your home is in the same shape that we met it in. If the home has a broken window, all of a sudden in the last home stretch of closing, then we need to contact the sellers and say, hey, this needs to be repaired before I get the keys to my new home. It's super important that the home is in the same shape that it was when we found it. And then next, we're at the finish line. Closing, we can't hand you the keys until funds are recorded with the county, and all funds are wired and dispersed. And what closing looks like with me, we take a picture with my sold sign, and I'm handing you the keys and your closing gifts and all that. And it's just a big celebration. It's super exciting and rewarding. And it's all worth it in the end. Sometimes home buying can be stressful, but me and Angela strive to make it the easiest process ever. We are the dream team as you can see. And closing with Angela, I'm not exactly sure what it looks like with you.
Yeah, so for me, so Mariah has the real fun, fuzzy part where she's meeting you with the key and champagne and gifts and things of that nature. For me, you're actually meeting with a notary. A notary is going to come to you wherever you're at. So you're going to be signing those closing papers, and you will be wiring funds that will be going over to escrow, and whatever your down payment would be, you'll be making sure that you bring to the table your closing costs. So that's what closing on my side look like. And I'm making sure that the bank is sending the funds to the seller, and you're securing your loan. All documents are signed. So there'll be lots of signing, lots of documents, funds will be transferred. There'll be lots of communication with myself and you at this particular point. All at the same time, you'll be meeting with Mariah to get the keys. So yeah, so it's a fun time, but it's a stressful time. They at that point, that's when they release you. At the very beginning, once you're in contract, that's when they kind of hold you and you're kind of held tight all the way until you get to that closing part. That's when they will release you.
Yep. And so that is the end.
Well, there's a few things, Mariah, I wanted to mention. We have right here in the middle some common mistakes.
Oh, that's right.
Once we talk and you get a pre-approved for a loan and you're out shopping with Mariah, I want to make sure that you understand, do not go out and make any large deposits. Do not go out and put any more debt on your existing credit cards. Don't go buy a new car. Don't go buy new furniture for your new home. Don't co-sign for anyone. Don't get new credit cards, and continue to pay your debt on time, your existing bills. Keep your job. Don't lose your job. If I have you approved saying you work at, I don't know, at Kaiser Hospital, make sure you still stay at Kaiser Hospital, not unless you're about to get a new job and it's going to be a promotional type of job where there will be more income. You can change your job, but it's very important that you let us know. And one more thing I want to let you know is do not go out and tour any homes without your realtor. So that means do not go out and see any homes without Mariah. I know it's very tempting because they have a lot of open houses. You may want to go in to see those open houses, but give Mariah a call and she can meet you there at those open houses. It's to your advantage. It's to your benefit if you have Mariah with you. Like she said, we're the dream team. Mariah can make some miracle deals happen. And then she's working with me together. We tag team the realtors, the lenders. We're making it happen. So please see homes with Mariah.
Yes, yes. And then I also wanted to talk about some helpful strategies throughout the home buying process and even before making an offer. We should definitely always remove contingencies on time per our contract. And it's even competitive. If we wanted to get competitive with our offers, we can shorten up the contingency timeline. So we could say, okay, we can remove our inspection contingency in 7 days or 5 days. Appraisal contingency could be in 12 days, and then the loan removal in 14 days. But it's super important that we move quickly and that you stay in communication with me and your loan officer, Angela. It's very, very important that you submit any documents that she's asking for on time, any documents that I'm asking for on time. It just won't work if we're not in communication. I'm not saying drop everything, but definitely communicate with us as soon as possible. And then you will have to submit some more pay stubs and bank statements to Angela even after making an offer. I know that you have to submit them in the pre-approval process. Okay, 9 minutes left. And that just threw me off. You will have to submit future pay stubs and bank statements during the transaction, because she needs to make sure that you still have your job, like she said, and then you're still getting income. Your bank statement didn't get overdraft or any overdraft fees or anything like that. And And then keep documents of that you sign. You can always ask me for copies that you've signed and stuff like that. And then any documents that you've submitted as well, keep those copies, and then continue to pay your bills. I know it sounds obvious, but some people are just like, no, I can't pay my bills. I'm buying a house. What do you mean? Those bill collectors do not care, and they will put your stuff in collections, ding your account, and it would just be a nightmare, trust me. So definitely continue to pay off your credit card, your loans, light bills, all that. It's very important. And if you guys have any questions, please drop that in the chat. We do have 8 minutes left.
And while Mariah is getting those questions together, while the questions are coming in the chat, I will add there are some down payment assistance programs that we can check and see if you're eligible for. There's a program right now called Max One Plus. The FICO score that we need for you to qualify for that would be a 600 FICO score. Excuse me. The strategy for that would be to see if we can get you guys into the down payment assistance program. They'll pay for your down payment. And this is where I say, and I always say, Mariah probably want to just choke my neck, but Mariah has been working amazing deals out there. The sellers are being extremely generous how they are actually giving seller concessions. What are those? That means they're giving cash to you, the buyers, cash in the amount of $12,000. Miss Mariah worked a deal where I think the seller was giving like maybe $26,000 to a buyer. Yeah. So if they give you, if the seller give you like $10,000 or $15,000, that covers your closing costs. Then if we have the down payment assistance program that will cover your down payment, now your out-of-pocket expenses at that point probably would be nothing, maybe $1,000, but we can get you into a house if we work that strategy. So, but I just want to say that while the comments are coming in, if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat.
Don't be
or,
shy.
Or unmute yourself and let's just go for it.
Yeah, you can unmute yourself for sure. I don't see any comments in the chat right now. And if you guys don't want to ask us questions during this webinar, that's completely fine. Feel free to call me or Angela. We always answer our phones. Our contact information is on this Loanopoly board. And of course, you can find me on social media.
You can find me on social media too after Mariah showed me how to really work social media.
I did tag you in the
next week, social media 101 by Mariah.
Right. Yes. But yeah, feel free to contact us anytime, even if you feel like you're not ready. It's unbelievable. Some people are like, oh no, I'm not ready. I'm far from ready. And you won't believe you're approved for $400,000 or $500,000. And
I always say when a person say, I'm not ready, I don't think I'm ready, I would say, let me be the judge of that. Call me and I will tell you if you're ready. I just have a few questions that I'll check with you, and based on how you're answering them, I will let you know if you're ready or not. And if you're not ready, I'll tell you what you need to do to get ready. And then we had a person who was not ready in the beginning of the year. She called back towards the end of the year. She listened to everything that we told her, and she is a proud homeowner. Gosh, her home is beautiful.
Literally closed December 30th.
Yep.
I'll never forget that one.
And she was the gift that just kept on giving. She was so inspirational and and she motivated a lot of her other family members who didn't think that they were ready, and we got them into a home. So we helped a lot of her family members get into homes. This family is a really happy family right now. So, but anyway.
Yes. Okay. Zakima said, on average, how long do you typically see the home buying process is? It depends on how quickly you as the buyer wants to move. Me and Angela have closed home buyers in 2 weeks. And then we've also had escrows for like 45 days as well. So it depends on how quickly you want to move, and how quickly the seller is moving as well. So that all plays a part in it. As for shopping, it depends on how picky you are. Because I can find you a home in one weekend. But yeah, it just all depends on you and how fast you want to go as a buyer. Good
Right.
question.
And then when Mariah write the your initial offer, she can say, we're going to close escrow in 30 days, or we're going to close escrow in 25 days, depending on you with your information, how soon you can get your information to me, what kind of information you have. If you just like a regular W-2 versus self-employed may be a little more, it's more to it. We may not be able to close on you as fast as if you just had a regular W-2.
Okay. We also have another question for the dream team from Tasha. Let's see. How do you determine how much you should save for a down payment and closing costs? That's a good question for Angela.
Yes. So typically, now, with the down payment assistance program,
Have 3
you
minutes.
may not need to save too much, right? Number one. So if we can get you in qualified for that, if you're interested, call me. We can probably get you qualified for that. So then you really wouldn't have to save too much. But to really get a home, and to get a home that you really want, maybe for the price you want, if you're saving and you're doing all the right things, I will say at least save 3%, because for a conventional, you have to, the lowest that you can put down on a conventional loan is 3% of the purchase price. And then for FHA loan is 3.5%. So let's just say if you have a home that you kind of been looking at on Zillow that costs, let's just say 300,000. So you'll just say 300,000 times 3%, that gives you your down payment.
Okay, perfect. And then closing costs is roughly around like 2%.
About a good 2.2%, 2.5%
of the purchase
for your
price.
closing costs. So total, like maybe a good 6% is what you want to say.
Yep. All righty, that is all the time that we have tonight, and I thank you so very much for spending your evening.
I see something in chat, Mariah. What is that in chat?
Oh, I read all those. Tasha said, great.
Okay, gotcha. I just didn't click on it.
Answer
Okay.
those other questions. And you're very welcome, everybody. And thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I definitely enjoyed your guys' presence and answering all your questions. And I hope to be working with you guys this year.
Yes.
Not this year, then next year, but this year. That's your goal.
Yes. And I mean, if you don't own a home now, definitely give me a call and let's talk about it. Let's get a plan together for you guys. And hopefully this year you can get a home, or next year we can get you guys on a plan.
Yes.
And refer your friends.
Yes, refer your friends. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.